All right, welcome everybody to today's Fireside Chat webinar with the title AI-Powered Pricing for Retail, Drive Profitability with SAP, Syntax, and Competera. I'm Danny Sharman. I'm the Sales VP for the US at Syntax. And boy, I'm excited today. This is a great group we have. But before we're starting, some housekeeping rules. This session is being recorded, and the recording will be available at the link where you joined this event. Also, you will receive an email from us, but if you have the link ready, that's where you will find the recording. We encourage you to participate by asking questions and sharing comments through the comment section or the Q&A message panel, what you will find on the lower right corner of your screen. So with this being said, now let's get started. All right, before we dive into the content and we'll introduce our panel, I would like to provide a brief introduction to Syntax, just in case you're joining us for the first time. Since now more than 50 years, Syntax has been dedicated to helping companies optimize their business operations. With our focus on SAP, we invented a new way to execute SAP projects. Our success is built upon our powerful accelerators and our AI add-ons, which serve as the foundation for delivering exceptional results. With a team of nearly 3,000 talented employees, we are rapidly expanding our capabilities to cater to the needs of our clients on a global scale. All right, so let's see who we have on today. So we are thrilled to have incredible speakers with us today. So I would like to introduce Kara Reed, a retail solution expert at SAP with plus 10 years experience in software and retail strategies for North America. She focuses on messaging, sales enablement, and customer value while supporting sales teams, partners, and product innovation. I'm so happy to have Kara on today. We also have on Alex. He's the CEO and co-founder of Competera. He has spent 8 years building an AI-driven pricing platform for retailers, trusted by brands like Sephora and Staples. Competera won 2023 and 2024 VIP awards for Best Retail Insights and Best Breakthrough Technology. Oh my God, I'm excited. So Francois Portier, with 25 years experience, he leads the retail business solution practice at Syntax. He is the former chief retail architect at SAP and specialized in SAP for the consumer industries. He's driving global implementations and optimizing retail business processes. And last but not least, my colleague Eugene, with over 16 years track record of innovation and success, defining and delivering innovative SAP functional solutions, process design, and business process optimization. He worked on multiple retail projects, which includes SAP ECC and SAP S4HANA implementation and migrations. So with this panel, we will start with the first question. All right, I hope everyone is ready. So let's dive into question number one. So question number one is actually very interesting. Now that we're about a month past the NRF conference in New York, so what are your key highlights and key takeaways from this event? And I would like to address this first question to Kara. Kara, please.
Sure. So, first of all, so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And I'm sure it comes as no surprise that the name of the game at NRF was AI. Similar to last year, however, I think it really shows, the work that's been put in over the last 12 months, because I felt that the use cases and the real life value that had been derived from implementations was really highlighted. So, first of all, agentic AI was everywhere. Again, talking about where specifically this can be used in retail, or we're talking about personalized experience, doing things that retailers have been trying to do for years, like offering personalized discounts when a customer is about to abandon a cart, but doing so with an AI agent as opposed to having to put so many rules in place and making it more of a manual process. Also, I was very excited to see all of the in-store AI, AR, VR capabilities that were highlighted. Ulta talked about how they leverage virtual reality and augmented reality in their app as well as in their stores for virtual try-ons during our big idea session with them, which I thought was a great use of technology as well, especially when trying on, trying to try on so many different types of lipstick. Like I'm sure you guys all know, trying to try on the nail polish, right? It's hard. You can't do it all at once. But of course, my favorite part of NRF was seeing all of the ways that AI can be used to help retailers make better business decisions, especially in the area of predictive planning and inventory orchestration. This means how to help assortment decisions, inventory decisions, forecasting demand more accurately. And then, of course, the reason we're all here today, how to get the best price for your products. How to make it a win-win between you and your customer. So I love being able to take, it may not be as flashy to show at a trade show, right? How to get the best price, how to get the right inventory assortment. But at the end of the day, that's how retailers succeed and that's how retailers make money. So that was my favorite part.
Perfect. Thank you, Kara. And I can also say that NRF was a great experience for us presenting at the SAP Village. And I can say we will see later today that we have some examples to show how like pricing optimization with AI from a visual perspective will help companies. So stay with us here for the next few questions. With this being said, let's jump to the question number 2 here. This goes to Kara again. Kara, so what is SAP's take on how retailers should be approaching AI?
Sure. So if you've seen any of our advertising on how we position ourselves in the AI market, right, it's all about business AI. I think that's no surprise, SAP being the leading enterprise application software vendor. And so it's all about how can you leverage AI best within your business process. Of course, the technology is important and you need to make sure you have the right algorithms and the right data to support it. But if you are just using AI in a silo, then you're not going to be able to take the results and ultimately execute them on them within your business process. And so at SAP, it's all about doing it in a responsible, scalable, and business-driven way. And that's what I really like about the partnership that we're going to talk about today is, Competera has an amazing experience. It has great algorithms behind the scenes. And Syntax really takes the foundation that SAP has, the rich data, the costing, the sales information, the product master data, the inventory information, and brings it together with Competera's solution so that you can execute on that price as soon as it's produced.
Perfect, great. So I would like to open this question up to the panel. And Alex, for someone who's working since 8 years on AI technology, I even don't know if 8 years ago, if I was really already like dialed into AI. For me, it was more like maybe a little bit skeptical. Will this really change our world? What's coming there? And you picked it up 8 years ago and said, no, I'm trusting this will be the next big thing. So you started Competera. So how are you seeing this?
Danny, you don't know how right you are. I feel myself very lonely, sitting on the guide trying to get those to tell the retailers that machine learning can do better price calculations and leverage much more data points, not just simple elasticity. Of course, we require the huge data sets, etc. And right now, all this tailwind with AI adoption getting in the right direction. And yeah, Danny, you're absolutely right. It was really tough. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's very, very short. This I was used to touch the machine learning back to 2005. It was 7 years before Google acquired distributed neural networks. As a part of my diploma in university, where I used to work on the electronic nose, technically I tried to train the computer to smell and detect the different smells. Yeah, it was 2005. Yeah, and you see right now, yeah, it's actually a very long time in the room, but now we are can leverage this.
Perfect. So I would like to give it over to Francois. Let's go back into what is your take on how customers in retail working with SAP, what are your point on how to use AI from today's standpoint?
Thank you, Danny. Happy to be here with you also today. I think Kara mentioned it very well, right? So you have to be very careful when you deploy AI solution, not to try to push in a direction where the rest of the supply chain will collapse, right? So that's the danger we've seen. You may call it machine learning, but it will learn from the history. If the history is showing that you're not capable to keep up, they will not be capable to achieve your full potential, right? It's the what we call the TOC, the theory of constraint, that you need to push to the limit, right? To be able to understand very well your your capability completely. And that's the best background you can get with SAP, connecting with multiple pinpoint solution like Competera. This is get to the limit that you retailers want to have and improve its performance.
Great, thank you. I would like to go to the next question. With the next question, question number 3, we will go a little bit digging deeper into the Competera's AI offering and learn a little bit more about it. So my next question goes first to Alex. So what makes Competera's AI pricing engine stand out from traditional pricing models, and how does it help retailers overcome common pricing challenges? And before you answer, we will have 2 slides where we have a little bit of visual to your answer. So I will share some visuals supporting your answer. Please, Alex.
Thank you, Danny. Yeah, guys, the first of all, what you all just mentioned, the real AI or machine learning is very intense on data sets. And I really appreciate those partnerships, what we have created this together, because early in the beginning, we realized that retails are not super sophisticated in their historical data. Yeah, and to be able to bring this really customer-centric future that we can calculate the optimal price up to store level, we require the historical learnings and actually sophisticated algorithm and very sophisticated data foundation to be able to train it. Honestly, guys, it was most of the complex investment at Competera over the year to train machine learning to understand human behaviors, right? Why, for example, in New York, we love to buy Coca-Cola as a main beverage. In San Jose, it would be water in San Francisco, right? Some kind of those signals. And of course, SAP gives all this information, helps actually retail to structure this in a proper way that can be consumed. And this, I will say if shortly, that our algorithm allows finally to focus not on the product-centric pricing, what most of this was done before, all those rules, etc., where is no customer in formula at all, more to tailor this to really customer-centric pricing. Of course, it's still like consume the cluster information, store behavior information, etc. But now we actually deserve this future where we can leverage, you see how much more factors together to write and calculate the optimal price and actually offload this from the humans. And you can go to the next slide. And back to my days in the Big Four, I will always call those days like red eye days, where we need to stay up all day around when we review each price for each SKU and that particular location or multiple country location. Now, this is a click of the button, we can get all this recommendation in place. And this I will prepare this very simple visualization. It's still hard to really represent the complexity of those calculations. And here you can see a very cool example that usual algorithms, like classical one, has like, we call it 3 factors, like cost, competitor price, best case, maybe some elasticity, and your business targets. And usually this consume around 300 megabytes per price review. With the way you just saw it, is like 20 factors, we consume around 11 gigabytes on the one price review, which is like 37 times more complex. And by the way, is only still a holistic level. If you go on the store level, is also multiplied by numbers of the locations. Yeah, I try to be not so technical, Danny.
And we know we have another question coming for you to describe more about the functionality behind. But before we're going to the next question, I would like to also give this question to Francois, who is, an expert in the industry for many, many years. You have seen how companies are dealing with those issues before we had an AI-driven option for this. So can you let us know what this change of technology is actually like, making for the market or bringing into the market here?
Yeah, thank you, Danny, again for that question. Absolutely, pleasure. So in the past, right, Alex mentioned the 3 factor. We were potentially had capable to expose to the merchant a little bit more in a sophisticated SAP transaction of pricing changes and approval and so on. That was complex, but they needed to see it, right? So other solution that was on the market at that time on doing pricing optimization were more black box, where you have to trust it, and no one really wanted to execute without understanding those 20 factor or even more when you go to the location. And that's the key over there, right? Is having it, understanding, is it garbage in, garbage out? Because you're going to scrap again your supply chain if you're not controlling the 20 factor properly. Here you have access to see what's going on and to approve before. That's what we've been doing with the integration. We'll talk about this a bit later, but bringing this back to SAP and being able to expose to the merchant before approving, what is all about. So this is a fantastic solution, and the capability of Competera to be able to do this in the background is a big change for the industry.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I also want to ask Kara, what were your thoughts when you the first time were introduced to Competera?
Yeah, I was very impressed. And Alex touched on this a little bit, but I think what impressed me most was pricing in just the plainest form is very complex. And then when you start to add all of those factors that Alex had on that previous screen, there's so many factors that come into play. It gets really complicated, really complex, really fast. But Competera doesn't make it seem complex. It makes it seem simple and easy to understand. It gives you the optimal price, and it tells you why it selected that. When in the background, there's all of this, all of this data going into it, all of this machine learning working together. And so I think that's what impressed me the most was the level of complexity it can handle on the back end, while to the end user showing the simplicity that's needed in the lifecycle pricing process.
Great insights. So I would like to jump to the next question, and we're starting with Alex again. So Alex, can you walk us through some key features to highlight how it works? And for everyone on the call, if you starting Googling on the side, watching the Competera website maybe, and reading through stuff while you be on our call here, we have a little video here while Alex is talking about it that you can see the action behind a little bit. Please, Alex.
Yeah, thank you, Danny. Yeah, this is what Kara mentioned, guys. For me, was exactly the point, how we can avoid all those complexity, but same time keep enough level of transparency to avoid these black blocks, what Francois is referred to. And it was not easy, but right now, we have a limited time here, but that the point is you can click the button, see the price recommendation, see actually explanations why it was advised there. You can cancel if you don't like it, blocked manually or change manually, run the calculation again, and this is the future we deserve. And in the way to create this simple, is still honestly retails. It looks too good to be true for most of them, is why we need to run those pilots, limited rollouts. But in general, the main capability is very easy. You just point a direction and say, hey, this is metric I want to increase, this I want to protect. You can play, of course, with the different scenarios of the future. Utilize dynamic product assignment, because most of the vendors, most of our customers spending the time defining which SKU should take which pricing campaign or strategy, etc. This is you don't need to do anymore. You're just defining some KPIs. For example, if these items sell not fast enough, this will be automatically moved to pricing campaign, what will focus it on running the markdown and clearance for you. Yeah, and this, of course, can be unique. What's more important, can be unique up to store level. Usually it's clusters, right? Because not all the stores are similar. If we live in the United States, it's states are different, GDP are different, but we trying to claim them the same strategies. And again, because honestly, do it different way, 5 years ago, was almost impossible. Because it's so much complexity, as Kara mentioned, it's impossible to build all these rules, all this, but with machine learning, we can do so. And of course, now you're touching, we call this predictive analytics. I mean, your pricing became proactive, not reactive. It means that you can see the impact before you apply any recommendation. And of course, on top of that, all the fancy, we have Gen AI pricing expert. And actually, why we call this pricing expert? Because honestly, trained ex-McKinsey, ex-Nielsen guys who give them this knowledge graph, what we're saying, and he can explain, for example, how much stock you have locked because those items not selling well and you're just losing your dollar amount there, etc. Just even can help you to set up right pricing tactics. And this how 8-hour day became like 15 minutes morning routine. Yeah, this is just, I think, again, the future we deserve. 2 clicks, you're done.
Perfect. Yeah, the future we deserve. I think if we would have a crowd in the room, they would now stand up and applaud because that's really what everyone is looking for, what are we deserving, and having us the technology in place, making our life easier is what we're all aiming for. Talking about making life easier and the application, I would like to also ask Kara, right? We know SAP, the greatest ERP in the world. We love it. We're committed, right? Everyone is expecting that SAP always closes like all the gaps in our processes. But here we're seeing a perfect example where Competera comes in and is filling, I would call it like a little bit of white space actually. So how is SAP like, using technology like Competera to really close the gap or even like close the circle for the customers?
Yeah, so, contrary to sometimes what we might say, SAP can't do it all, right? We operate in 26 different industries with many subsegments underneath. And so there's no way we can have, best in class solutions for every business process out there. So we work very well with our ecosystem partners like Syntax, like Competera to help fill this white space because all of you out there who are, SAP retail customers, SAP is a very strong foundation in the pricing space, right? It has great rules, lots of areas for the master data component. You can really build a solid foundation. But when it comes to things like price optimization, it's lacking in the solution. And so, and to be completely honest, right? Like SAP ERP wasn't meant to be the price optimization solution. That needs to take place outside of your core transactional system. And so that's why, first of all, Competera is a great fit for this because they bring, a best in class proven solution. But that's also why we're so excited about this three-way partnership with Syntax because Syntax really understands SAP ERP. They understand the, pricing conditions and all of the quirky little things we'll call them that goes into pricing at SAP. And so they can take the best of Competera and the best of SAP and give the best to our customers.
Thank you. That's a perfect segue into our next question, because now that we're concluding the product and the solution from Competera, now let's slowly move over into how combining those two worlds. I'm far away from an AI expert, but what I know is if you want to have good results in AI, you need to have strong data. And if we're talking about SAP as a system, as really the system of records for the most of our customers, this is where all the intelligence is somehow already existing and inside. And now with a strong AI technology on top, you can make the best out of it. So worlds coming together here, and I'm very excited about this opportunity here. So now let's jump into question number 5. And this is really about what are the benefits of integrating Competera's model with SAP. And now we're entering the core competency of Syntax here, being an expert in both worlds. And I would like to give this first question to Francois.
Yeah, thank you again, Danny, for this question. So it's helped probably to take a small scenario that everybody probably can relate, right? So if you've seen Jerry Seinfeld, right, how frustrated he was when he was doing a car reservation at a car booth, right? And he says, the most important things is, to keep the reservation. Is everybody can take reservation, right? So it's a bit the same things here. If I do the story in two different aspects of my answer. First, you need a lot of information that you need to pass to as we mentioned, right? Those 20 factor plus that need to be exact information. And well calculated, right? What is your real cost? What is your quantity? Is it the real quantity or what's coming? And all that supply chain information need to be perfect as an input. So from there, then you can decide, are you looking for increase your sales, increase your margins? So the Competera will behave perfectly to help you to understand this. And it will be able to consider all the product of an assortment for a category, for instance, to better, understand the consequences you will get, right? There's limit of people, getting yogurt as an example, right? You drop a price of others, you increase the others. I'm not going to eat more yogurt. You're going to create cannibalization. But then that's the second piece, right? So what will happen if you just execute the price without looking at the supply chain, right? It's going to be a catastrophe in 2 or 3 weeks' time if you have not advise the supply chain. And that's what we've seen in the past, right? We were providing the tool that was not well integrated, and then the merchant would say supply chain is bad, blah, blah, blah. But it's because it was not integrated properly. We didn't not capable to see what was coming. Now with SAP, with the full integration, that's what we do in the back end, right? We're capable to predict, and then you decide when are you ready to execute it, right? To make sure that you're not stuck with a product that's going to be overstock in a few weeks and having shrink on it because date pass, and on the other side, out of stock for the one that you're having a better price, customer losing confidence in your brand, satisfaction, and leaving your store to go to your competitor. That's not what you want. So to be capable, it takes a lot of very detailed information that you fully integrated to it, right? This is where we've invested with SAP and Syntax to bring all that information back in sales price calculation, which is a standard function of SAP connected to all the information of the supply chain, and be capable to say, is the supply chain is ready, the warehouse are ready, the store operation are ready, the vendors is ready, and all the dynamic planogram. If you need to sell more, would you put more space for it, right? And all those information. That's what we've been doing. So it's the key, I think, of a success to execute and getting the level 5 of a maturity in that model.
Perfect, great answer. I love it. For me, it's always important when we talk about the implementation partner in the middle. It's about who actually is responsible to use technology and make it a solution for the customer. And this is where we're seeing Syntax, right? This is where we're seeing us. You have an SAP system on the one side, great technology. On the other side was Competera. Someone needs to help the customer to make this a solution, makes it a strong business case, and getting what we're all shooting for, getting a great return on investment on a project like this. And this is where we're seeing Syntax being a strong partner. And thank you, Francois, for walking us through a couple examples here. Always love the Seinfeld comparison here. So now, before we're going in the next slide and the next question, where I would like to ask Eugene, I would like to also summarize a little bit where we're at right now. So for now, we looked into the product. We talked about the use case, the business case. So it's really about more like why Competera, why Syntax, why SAP, and bringing this all together. So now we want to look a little bit more into the how the things will be done in the back end. Our goal is always to cater all audiences in those webinars. So the business case, the functional side, that's what we covered for the last 29 minutes. Now I want to break into a little bit more of a technical discussion. And Eugene, the next question is for you. So how did Syntax integrate Competera with SAP ERP? And can you talk about how SAP consumes the pricing recommendations from Competera? And we will have also 2 slides to support your answer, please.
Thank you, Danny, and it's very nice to be on the call today. I think Francois and Cara and Alex have given great examples. If I can sum it up, if I may, I would say that today's retail market demands agile pricing strategies, right? And be it for profitability, be it for customer satisfaction, these are tough challenges. And from a Syntax perspective, we understand these challenges, and that's why the partnership with Competera is so exciting. To integrate the SAP landscape with the, I would say, cutting edge pricing platform that Competera has. Super exciting. And with that, if we can achieve seamless exchange of data, then of course, we've got accuracy in our pricing, we've got responsive, and these are very important, I would say, KPIs for driving better business results. If I can quickly talk to the diagram that you're looking at, in the middle of the screen, at the top left, you've got SAP S/4HANA. At the top, just below it, you've got SAP CAR, or Customer Activity Repository. In the middle, SAP BTP, or Business Technology Platform. And on the right-hand side, of course, Competera. The blue dots in green, in one, document as one, is some of the data sets that we would extract from S/4HANA and from the CAR system, such as articles, pricing, promotions, point of service, inbound supply, etc. Very important data points, of course. Competera is data rich. In point 2, we exchange this data through the very powerful BTP platform. Of course, we understand outside of the SAP landscape, there might be other data points required. Think of perhaps e-commerce systems, web traffic, etc. These are all data points that we can integrate within the design. So our design is flexible, our design is scalable. And once we've ingested this information, this data points into point 3 from a data extraction perspective into the Competera platform, we will allow Competera to do its magic, run its algorithms, and the recommendations flow back to the SAP landscape in points 5 and 6. And as Francois alluded, from a retail sales pricing perspective, Danny, on our next slide, we can see, I'll just give you a minute, we can see how we bring that Competera price as a recommendation and allow the user to obviously monitor it if they want for a certain category, or go to a state where they can fully automate and just push that price back straight away to the POS or to the e-commerce system.
Perfect. Thank you for the answer, Francois. I would like to circle this from a technical question a little bit back to you from a overseeing from a project perspective. Would you say the integration is modern, straightforward, and will support all future scenarios and technologies we're seeing from a cloud stack, from where the SAP system is actually in the future for our customers? I'm assuming this is a future-ready solution, but I want to hear it from you again.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely right. So it's important as we develop. We know that the world is changing also to more, public cloud standpoint, right? So now the solution is ready for a private cloud, but we also develop it in a way where on public cloud, where some additional information will need to be connected for those scenarios, but it's ready for that for a clean core of SAP and keeping all the information, the calculation, all those factors in the Competera side. Absolutely.
Perfect. And Alex, I would like to you from the other side, you being an ERP agnostic technology stack, so you can do that with other ERP system as well. Even I believe you love SAP by now, but let's hear it from you, more from an independent perspective. How is the integration with SAP for you? Is SAP actually one of the more modern stacks you see out there, where the integration makes sense and is easy, or is it maybe a little bit more complicated? So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't want to be super on the sales side, but really impressed by the way how it all goes, and especially I love when the customers, what we're going to show the key study soon, running the SAP, comparing to other ERP systems. What I know, the SAP in the beginning very hard on putting all the data, all the track records together, which makes much easier our future work. And as you mentioned, right, we need to have a customer activity analysis or planograms. It's so easy here. And yeah, I told always to Francois when we first time met, I think that most of our customers, I have faster success and better, easier implementation when we have a SAP customer coming over our nets.
And Alex, if I may add and ask you, from your, I would say, non-SAP implementations and the accelerator that Syntax has brought in partnership with yourself, how much time do we reduce in implementation, and how quick can we scale?
Yeah, this is also a great question, guys. Before these partnerships, we always claim around 4 to 6 months for data preparation and data clearance. Right now, with this integration, it will take, say, 4 or 6 but weeks. Yeah, right now for us, it's more like to clear the data, complete the validation, rather than build the connectors, etc. Guys, it's like big change is 10x improvement. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Great question, Eugene. We should get this question for our next session.
I just want to point out one thing too. I want to go back to what Francois said, because I think that is so important. SAP talks about clean core all the time, and sometimes it's hard to put a tangible example on what this is. This is clean core right here. Taking the, bringing the data together, bringing the algorithm to the data, instead of taking the data out of SAP and building integrations that are reliable and reusable. So I just want to say thank you to Syntax for following SAP's principles, but then also look at the benefits that Clean Core can give to our customers, right? Taking it from 4 to 6 months to 4 to 6 weeks is a significant improvement, especially when, price optimization projects, they're not done in silos, right? They're maybe done as part of a larger digital transformation or a larger pricing and promotion project. And so there's always so many things going on. Anytime you can shave off a project and do it in a repeatable and reliable way is very important.
Thank you, Kara. Thank you. All right, so that brings us to question number 7. What is the last question? And this goes to Alex again. And let's talk a little bit about some real results that highlight the impact of this integration. And we have a slide just supporting a couple of results. And please, if you could walk us through the scenario behind those numbers.
Yeah, thank you, Danny, to bring this up. Yeah, guys, you see this very raw screenshot of exactly the report, what actually was used by customer in internal system. As you can see, quite fresh, is like was done on January 21, is less than a month ago. And it was very exceptional for me. First of all, because this is our SAP foundation here, clear core. I like the statement, Cara, clean core. And you see the target of optimization was to grow the gross profits while trying to protect sales quantity. I was trying to protect because this is how machine learning works. You point the direction and some metric what you want to improve is some metric you want to protect as far as you see. And then you can see those results in here in bottom line. It takes like 10 full weeks. Usually we are not taking few weeks, first few weeks on these results due to machine learning was trained on the historical data. When we start doing the right library pricings, we need to see that model is tuned and actually retrained on real data. But as you see, the results are exceptional. Honestly, the commercial director of this customer just called me and say, Alex, where are you right now in this world? I want to fly and hug you because this is a really huge impact. And I honestly, I promised them around 4 to 5%. But it went up at 7 and with slight sales quantity decrease, but same time the revenue you see was also the kind of the same results. Small backstory. This we always when we run the pilots, it means there's an A/B testing. It means that stores in A group test group was applying those EI recommended prices. Stores in the B group as continue doing as they done before. And this what you see, the metric is a difference between test and control groups technically. Yeah, and really promising results. And of course, we're right now going to scale that. And the team just is beyond than happy. And especially like what makes this exceptional, guys, is the zero rules. Is the zero products was priced by rule. That of course we just take off the price, the products what under like promo with vendor or something. It's just that we allocate some assortment that can be free for us to optimize over the next 10 weeks. And this always I said, give me 10 weeks, 10 stores and see how it works. Yeah, and with the robust data foundation, what we've done here, that's really cool. Yeah, thank you everyone for that.
Perfect. All right, so that's our last question. We have a few minutes left before I'm summarizing everything. I would give it back to our panelists. Anyone to chime in for maybe this question or any last word? Please, Francois.
Let me add something to Alex. So I think as a partner of SAP and Competera, we also are there to, we keep saying we are boutique at scale. And where the thing is coming, we definitely understand retail in the very detail, but the scale approach, right, is very important. This is a sample that Alex is showing that has been and after that, you need to deploy it, right? And how do you deploy it to ensure that everybody is executed on the same thing, the quality of the data stay the same, and it's, as I mentioned, it doesn't break anything else, right? You reach the level 5 of a maturity map for pricing, but you need to not break the other KPIs of your organization on the supply chain. This is where we come and help to make sure that the supply chain will continue to deliver it. There is some category that would be will need to change the layout module to be able to achieve those volume changes changes and so on. That's where we're going to go and help those customers to increase those KPI that are often highlighted by the big guys like Gartner Group, or where you can. But how you do it, this is what our recipes comes.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I'll add one last thing. I know sometimes when we talk about, a price optimization project, lots of retailers talk about it, want to get there, but when you get into the weeds, right, they're a little reluctant to move because, worried about black box or, taking away power from the merchants. But I think one of the great things about Competera too is you can do a crawl, walk, run scenario. So while it does have these amazing capabilities where with 2 clicks you can change the price of your entire assortment, you can also take it a little slower. You can use it more as decision support. You can see all of the factors that go into that recommended price, which I think is so important in building trust within your organization. And so don't think it has to be 100% day one. You can kind of grow with the solution as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of you guys that reflected very important points. This is like to be ready as an organization. And also what I want to touch here, guys, have this operational change management is like not the technology itself, like you're right, the people who like right now we living in this new industrial revolution, right? And I still feel, and be honest here, like it's a very huge pushback usually from merchant teams that's coming. And the Cara mentioned very well, we usually say, hey, just getting these emails to your inbox. Imagine like McKinsey level price architect sitting in each of your store daily and just sending you these emails, showing you where you can detune this is very nice way to go slowly and get this kind of support. We're like not against, we're just saying that machine learning with the right data foundation can calculate those stuff much better than us.
So just to summarize this, and I hope we still have a few guests on. If not, they will be see it at the recording at the end. But technical, problems can happen like every time. So just to summarize for today's session, I think it's important to focus that SAP, Competera, and Syntax together bring something very valuable to the table. So number one, we want to point out is optimized and scalable pricing design to support customer centricity and omni-channel experience. So big plus here. We've seen with the new technology stack, that's really what you can get out of the solution. Number two, that's what we all are in the game for, right? We want to increase revenue and margins. That's why we're doing all of this. And how we're doing this was
You're on mute, Danny.
someone is like playing games with us here today, right? So I even didn't touch my keyboard or my mouse, but let's finish up. Middle section is increase revenue and margins, right? With smart AI pricing adjustments. And number three, predictive pricing creates a more effective category management. You know what, Francois? I believe your Seinfeld joke actually motivated someone on the platform management side to play games with us here. But we have only one more slide to go. And that's the slide where I want to say thank you to the panelists. Thank you to you, Cara, Eugene, Alex, and Francois to be with us today. We did an awesome job for 43 minutes. Then someone started playing games with us, and then we did another awesome job for a few minutes. So thank you very much to you guys to be with us today. And for our audience, if you want to see more content, if you want to go back and research and learn a little bit more about it, the first thing you should do, you should contact Syntax, because we will be happy to join a meeting with you, making presentation, explaining you everything. But if you want to research a little bit more or collecting some information to share it with some colleagues, here are some QR codes where you can download and can find all of the collaterals. With the little technical issues we have no more time to dig into questions right now, but I believe the audience answered a ton of questions today. Again, thank you very much, everyone, to join us today. And have a great rest of your day. Thank you. And now,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, Eugene, Cara. Pleasure always meeting you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. Yeah. Cheers.
Thank you.